Hello guys, in this video we are going to explore what bcryptjs actually is. Optimized bcryptjs. Bcryptjs. You are creating a web application that takes user information, which it could be anything such as credit card number, national identification number, or even password. But when you're trying to save it, it saves the raw data into our database. When our database is compromised and the user data is get exposed and our password get exposed or stealed by another hackers. Why we use bcryptjs for hashing password in situation where security is paramount, such as user authentication systems. Hashing password is crucial for protecting sensitive user data, as it ensures that even if database is compromised, the original passwords cannot be retrieved. bcryptjs is specifically designed for securing hashing password. Consider a situation where the user signs up of an online service and creates a password during registration process. Without proper hashing, the user password would be stored in the database in plain text format, leaving it vulnerable to theft if the database is compromised. However, by using bcryptjs to hash the password before storing it, the password is transformed into a cryptographically secure hash value that cannot be reversed to reveal the original password. This ensures that even if an attacker gains access to the database, they would obtain hashed passwords, which are virtually impossible to revert back to the original form. Today, we are going to dive deep how to hash passwords. By getting started, in this command, simply install npm bcryptjs in our command prompt in our text editor. I have already installed, so let's try to install. By installing, after successfully install, importing in our code, import bcrypt from bcryptjs. Let's go ahead and create information we are trying to hash. We will be using user password as an example. I would create a variable for this password. We would assume it to be the plain text for password our user provide to us. For that, simply create one function. This function is using because hash value return, which is a promise, which returns a promise, it need to be included in the using function. So this function should be using function, and declare some variable with the password and some random with the password. This is a password in which we are trying to store in the simple plain text format. Below this code, we are going to be creating hashed version of this password by using bcrypt.hash method. This method returns a promise containing the hashed version of our password, and we would await its value and stored in a variable called hashed password. For that, bcrypt.hash password. Okay. The hash method take in two arguments, first being the data to be hashed, in this case our user password, which we have access via the password variable. The second being the number of rounds we want to perform. The number of rounds determines how many times the hashing algorithm is going to be executed. Based on my experience with the library, I find that a very good number for this is 8, as it strikes a good balance between security and speed. If we use lesser number of rounds, the algorithm becomes easy to crack, and if we use too many rounds, the algorithm takes long time to run. So we declare 8. and simply log this hashed password to know what we got in the command prompt. We get one random value data. The hashed version is what we would be storing in our database. This is hashed version of our data and is exactly what we'll be typically storing in our database where we have password. In this case of hashing algorithms, we are dealing with a typically one-way algorithm, which is irreversible, only hashing as occurred. Which begs the question, so how do we go about logging in? So we are comparing the credentials provided by the user with the one stored in the database just to be sure they are exactly matched. bcryptjs gives us a way to compare our stored value with the one the user would provide when using our API. We would be using bcryptjs bcrypt.compare method, which takes two arguments. It is that bcrypt.compare which takes two arguments. The data to be hashed and compared, but in this way user input like password. And another one is hashed value of the password, which in this case, although we are typing this out manually, when we are building APIs, it would be taken from the users and not just typed by us. We would create a variable called isMatch, and we would use the compare method on bcrypt and then pass in the required values, user input and hashed version stored for that. Ismatch. And by simply logging ismatch, what we got in our console. Further, we have tried to learn. And ismatch is also written a promise. For that, we have await this value. We got true as an output because the compare value between the password and the hashed password exactly matched. So we got the result of true. When we change some values in the hashed password, like some, and give another password, it will be false. That's all in this session. Okay, bye.